You walk around this building, and everyone is so supportive and so excited about what is happening with the Fever. And you look down the hall with the Pacers organization and the outpouring of support that we get from Kevin and from Chad and Rick and Jenny and the players, really showing up in an authentic way for us. And obviously we feel the same way and are super excited about the season ahead for them. But it's truly special. I've been in a lot of places and never experienced anything quite like this. So, this morning, while I woke up a little bit sad that we're, not in Phoenix, I'm certainly grateful to be in this organization, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And really just a part of this community. I mean, you've seen the outpouring of support, from our fans showing up every single night, no matter who's on the floor for us. The Colts down the road, I'm looking forward to attending my first Colts game on Sunday and cheering them on, and just really appreciate that support. But again, just coming in here today, feeling really grateful, excited for what the future holds for this franchise. But just, again, really have a lot of appreciation for the people that come in here and do the work for us behind the scenes every day. It truly takes a village.
All right, on that note, we'll get started. We'll go to Lou.
Amber, with the status of labor talks with so many free agents, with an expansion draft, do you have any idea what this offseason might even look like? And if you don't, how do you kind of go about so much unknown with the winter approaching?
Well, I think we control the controllables. You start prepping for, obviously, the college season, for what's going on internationally, planning out our scouting, both domestically and internationally. We are talking to all the players today, obviously, focused on development plans for them, finding out what their needs are, how we can support them. So really just focus on what we can control, and as things roll out, we'll be ready to go. That's the biggest thing. Plan as much as you can.
Just the sheer volume of injuries you guys dealt with this season, how do you view that? As bad luck, as something you need to look into on structurally, like how did this happen? How do you view that as a leader in this franchise?
Yeah, I think it's bad luck. Bad luck, which opened the door for a lot of opportunity. I think when you look at the people that we lost, and then the people who came in, I'm really grateful for every one of those players that we called mid-season at different points and picked up the phone and said yes. From Ari to Odyssey to Shay to Ariel to Bibby, just down the line. Each one of those players was excited to be a part of this and came in here. I was really reflecting on the flight home yesterday, going down the line at different moments for each of those players, the impact that they had at different points, and the big moments they had for us. So, I think it is just bad luck down the line, and we look forward to, hopefully that's our, we've hit our quota for several years. That's my hope in the grand scheme of this.
Hi, Amber. Because of the injuries, it felt like you guys couldn't fully see the vision that you really worked hard to put together last offseason. Mm-hmm. So kind of with that in mind, and with the fact that there's free agents everywhere in mind going into this offseason, do you anticipate wanting to try and run back this group, or how much change do you feel like you? Yeah, how much change do you anticipate there might have to be, or do you like what this group's you were able to put together when everyone was healthy?
Well, certainly disappointed that we didn't get to see more of the group that we put together playing together throughout the season. But no doubt there's something really special about this group. In my 15 seasons in the league, I've never experienced anything like this in terms of their connection. And that certainly, was a big part of getting us to, where we ended the season. There's just a lot of unknowns. I mean, I think when you look at our big three, I'm going to sound like a broken record from last year. The priority will be Kelsey Mitchell, and making sure she remains in a fever jersey. Wow. I mean, what a season from her. She laid it out all on the line. I think I saw a stat yesterday. She's missed 5 games in 8 seasons. Obviously sad the way that, it ended for her in Game 5, but just tremendous and will continue to be a focal point as we head into free agency. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these players will be in our plans, but again, with so many unknowns, it's hard to really define that until we get some structure around what that's going to look like.
Lou, and then to Chloe.
This side.
Yeah.
Can you take us through the process a little bit of how you responded quickly when somebody got hurt? Like, what did you do? Did you have a master list of available people? Was it a phone thing, an email thing, a constant, and you had to go through it, so you probably developed a system.
Yeah. I think this is where the experience in the league pays off. Again, being around for 15 years, Kelly 20 years, Steph's been in and around the league for a long time, just knowing players, knowing agents, and you go into a season. I mean, my job is to be prepared for something like this to happen. So, for example, when we picked up the phone to call Odyssey was in Dallas the last 2 years there, so I have a relationship with her. I know her agent. So it allows us to act quickly. And again, I think it's great communication between the coaching staff, between Kelly and I. As soon as something happens, you got to be ready to go. But yeah, we walk into the season with that list in terms of position, so we can be ready if something does happen.
Chloe, then Jacob.
Yeah, obviously you had to find a bunch of these hardship players, and Steph had to integrate them pretty quickly. Just overall, how would you assess Steph this season, especially with all of that change she had to go through?
I cannot say enough good things about Stephanie White and her staff. What a tremendous job, and she deserves so much credit, and her staff deserves so much credit for being able to fold these players in really quickly. Again, from the time they arrive with film to walking them through the playbook to integrating to talking to them during games. I mean, Steph is a master communicator. And I think one of her super skills is, to make everyone believe in the possibilities, even when times are tough. Every pre-game, post-game speech, I'm ready to run through a wall, and I have nothing to do with it. So I think she is just an incredible motivator of people, incredible at X's and O's. Quite frankly, it is shocking to me that she did not end up on the Coach of the Year ballot with votes. I think what she did was a masterful job this season. And no disrespect to anyone in this league. We have tremendous coaches, but for my book was the Coach of the Year.
We'll go to Jacob, then to Scott.
On the topic of Steph, she just talked about the kind of balance of having pride in what this group did, but also being 5 minutes away from the WNBA Finals. How do you kind of balance those two emotions?
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts because we all believed, everybody in that locker room believed that we had the opportunity to advance to the WNBA Finals. So, yeah, it stings. And you wish that we could be, again, in Phoenix right now playing. But I think as you step back from it and you see all the adversity that did happen, and again, the way these players and the coaches integrated really quickly to find success time and again, it really is, it's like something from a movie. I had a lot of people say that to me, like, this is the best sports movie I've watched in a long time, is this season. So I think as we step away from the season, we'll take a lot of pride in it. And I think the most important thing is the foundation that it builds. I mean, we had a lot of playoff experience on the roster, even with those hardship players coming in. But when you look at like Aaliyah and Kelsey and Lexi, who have been a part of this organization, and this is the furthest they've gone, man, to get a taste of that. And again, being with other organizations through the years and kind of going through this process and seeing players get a taste of that and the motivation that it provides and the excitement that it provides going into the next season, that's really where the juice is. So I think it will pay huge dividends for us as we move forward to set the tone for years to come.
All right, these media windows are flying by, so we got time for two more. We'll go Scott, then Pat.
with Caitlin specifically, what was it like just seeing her grind behind the scenes? She said, I mean, she probably worked more in the training room than she ever has on the court. What was that like, and the challenge of ultimately then having to rule her out and not see her back in uniform?
Yeah, you know, none of us wanted to see Caitlin on the sideline. She's such a dynamic player and just a joy to watch. So, you know, we hate that for her, but man, for all of you to understand how hard she worked day in and day out to get back on the court. And I know, you know, for a long time there was, is she back? Is she coming back? Is she not? That was an open question because she was really trying. She was really trying, and we got to that last West Coast road trip, and there just was not enough time for her to get back on the court. But nobody worked harder than Caitlin. Nobody wanted to be back out on the court more than Caitlin. And I think just the vantage point from sitting on the sideline next to Steph, learning, you know, I'm so looking forward to what next year is going to look like for her, because I think we're going to see just another level, which is unbelievable to even think about. So really, really proud of her. Great teammate, great in the locker room, showed up in the same way as a leader with her voice consistently, which is really hard to do when you're going through something like that. So just really proud of her, and again, just looking forward to having her back on the court.
Amber, the adaptability from the front office to the coaching staff to the roster to pull off a season like this is evident, but another group that had to be adaptable was the fan base. I'm wondering, from your perspective, as you watched kind of the Fever fans put their arms around any grouping of players that was out there, you know, the playoff games, the environment there was evident too. From somebody in your perspective, what was that like?
Incredible. It did not matter who was on the floor. To walk out into this building night in and night out and see the stands filled to the rafters is just a testament to this fan base and how bought in they are to, you know, this Fever organization. And, you know, for those of you that were on the road with us at different points or throughout the season, that's across the country. I mean, the fans just show up in droves for this team. And I think, again, just the adversity, I got so many messages over the last several days just talking about the inspiration of this group that it provides in everyday life. Just when you hit a valley, don't give up. Just keep coming back and persevering and working hard, and wrap your arms around the person next to you and do it together. I think is something that will live on for a long time, and you can feel it in the city. And I've had a lot of people say to me, this team made me feel like I've never felt before supporting a team. And, you know, that is just really, really special. And I think translated in them showing up and tuning in no matter who was on the court and wearing that Fever uniform.